Hello, and welcome to another episode of Connecting the Dollars. Today, we are going to talk about the cost of childcare that we don't normally think of when we are making those calculations. Obviously, children have basic needs that we need to meet, but when talking about costs of daycare and or having a nanny, just any kind of childcare, we're going to focus on that. My name is Emily Agosto. I'm a CPA and financial advisor at Propel Financial Advisors.
And I'm Amanda Vaught. I'm an attorney and fellow financial advisor at Propel Financial Advisors. So
All
good
right.
to see you, Emily.
Good to see you too. Let's get into this topic. I think it's a good one. It's you hear the typical, maybe not the typical, but you do hear people considering when their kids need to go to daycare, saying, okay, well, my salary is less than what it's going to cost us in daycare. So
Yeah.
it seems like a no-brainer that I should stay home and take care of the kids. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's really complicated, right? I think a lot of times when people first have a child, they're kind of shocked at the cost of childcare.
Yes, I imagine.
So, um, I mean, I'm in New York City, right, where the cost of childcare starts maybe at $2,500 a month, um, and definitely goes up from there. Um, So that's a lot. That's a lot to absorb, right? In your budget. Um, so, how do you pay for that? Where do you get the money from? And so I think if we're talking about different people, right? Like some people, this becomes a choice, right? And other people of different means, um, they're forced to make a decision along financial lines, right? So, just to start with, say a stereotypical couple of, say, a husband and wife, and the wife wants to stay home with the kids, or thinks maybe she should stay home with the kids because of the financial calculation of it, right? Um, Daycare costs 2,500 a month. How much money am I making? Is it really worth it to pay that? And so I think, that's one simple way a lot of people do the math. And when you do the math that way, you're missing um, the bigger picture, because there's a lot more financial costs than just like 1 year of salary
Right.
or 5 years, maybe if you just want to stay home when the kid's little. Um, so there is a calculator that you can use. It's a free resource on a website called modernhusbands.com. And so they will helps you calculate the true cost of staying home or leaving the workforce to take care of your child. And so using that calculation, the average cost, lifetime cost for a woman to stay home to take care of the children is $295,000, um, which is, I think, much bigger, right, than people expect it to be.
Mhm.
And so why is that, right? So, um, one is people are typically leaving the workforce at sort of the height of their money-making career potential time. And so when you leave, you're not just missing out on that year's salary, right? You're also missing out on potential promotions, um, and learning and getting experience at work that compounds over time, right? Um,
Retirement contributions, maybe
you're
other
missing out on
benefits.
retirement contributions, Social Security contributions. Um, all of those things add up, but they also compound. And the compounding thing is what's key here. Um, that it's not just about the current numbers, it's that growth over time that makes that number so big, the 295. That's where that's coming from.
Right. And
Um,
not to mention, if the parent goes back into the workforce, they're already starting at a place, like you said, they're missing out on certain opportunities, growth experiences, learning experiences. And that's
mhm.
unfortunate, but they make it, just pigeonholed
Yeah.
into certain type of work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think when women go back to work, they tend to go back to things that are more jobs that have more flexibility, or part-time, which just tend to not pay as well and have a lower possibility of promotion.
Hmm.
So, when they do go back in, sometimes they go in at a lower salary than they started at before. So
Right.
all of those things add up over time, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then I think we also wanted to talk about the other cost, which is not a little more, it's more difficult to quantify. Um, but it is more of pressure and stress on the spouse who's staying at work, right? We're talking about stereotypical, right? The mom
Yeah.
staying at home. But obviously, I know a number of stay-at-home dads, right?
Same.
So it's not always the wife, right? But but that puts pressure on the person who's the sole breadwinner. um Maybe they can start to feel like pushed in a corner, like they lose the flexibility to take maybe some risk in their career. They feel like they can't take because their families dependent on them
Right.
to bring home the bacon, right, if you will. So I
Hmm.
think that's another big cost that can impact stress levels, but relationship, it will impact your relationship in ways you may not anticipate. So I think all of those things are part of the conversation, not just
Absolutely.
daycare is $2,000, I make $5,000. What's there's a
Yeah.
lot more cost benefit.
Yeah. There's a lot more to think about for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, we were just talking about this earlier. Being a stay-at-home parent is a job in itself, so don't want to discount how difficult that can be.
Yeah, yeah. I think that leads into talking about the child tax credits and
Mhm.
how you can earn those if you're working, right?
Right. So there is the child care or the child tax credit, which is for people who are working or not. There is a standard $2,000 deduction for each child up to the age of 16. When they turn 17, it becomes $500. But for working parents, there's something called the Child Independent Care Credit. And so that comes into play when you are paying for daycare or for older children, paying for after school care so that you can work. Even certain summer camps, that kind of thing will qualify for this care. But it has to
But
be
not sleepaway camp.
right, not sleepaway camp for whatever reason. But
Yeah,
yeah, it can't be for like you're paying a babysitter because you want a day off with your spouse or something like that. Wouldn't that be nice? So the IRS doesn't see staying at home, a stay-at-home parent as a job. So you can't like pay yourself something and deduct it. That's not, unfortunately, not how it works. But
hmm,
if you pay someone else, like a nanny, for example, services that they offer to you would count as like your daycare credit, your childcare expenses. But another caveat there is they have to be paid through a W-2 and they should be considered a household employee. So that's a
hmm,
whole other, I don't want to call it a can of worms because it's not that difficult to do, but it is something that like I mean I am in the tax and financial world, so I find it very easy to like set up payroll. I'm like, oh, no big deal. But for the average person, that might be a little daunting. There are
yeah.
services out there. Poppins is one. You mentioned another one the other day,
Home
Amanda.
pay, I've
Yeah,
seen people use.
that they'll take care of a lot of that like administrative work for you. And it might be, worth it to pay the extra, I don't know, $50 a month to have someone handle that for you. And because if you don't pay them, on a W-2, if you're paying people cash or under the table, you would not be able to use that amount you pay for your childcare credit. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
And one more thing about that credit, it's a good credit. It's nice that it's there, but it's a very small percentage. Just wanting to point that out. Like it's not a dollar for dollar. If you're paying like 20 grand in dependent care credit or independent care each year, it's not going to be like you can't deduct that whole thing.
No, no. When it's currently it's $3,000 per child, up to two kids, right? And then if you have
Right.
more children, then it's
It's
a
still
lesser amount.
3,000. Yeah.
Oh, it's still 3,000. Okay.
Mhm.
But if your income goes up, then it's the amount of the deduction is scaled down from
Right.
there.
Yes.
So um, don't think you're getting $3,000 off. That's not
Right.
how per child. That's not how it works. Um,
Unfortunately, no.
no. And then Emily, do you want to touch on some employers offer dependent care benefits through their work? Do you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, so the dependent care credits that your office may work. So it's similar to like a flexible spending account, an FSA. They will sometimes offer up to a certain amount of money that they will, it's your salary, but you'll get it pre-tax. So it's kind of similar to like an HSA and an FSA, as I mentioned already. So if you use those funds to pay for your dependent care, then that's a nice benefit because you're getting the tax off of your whatever $5,000 maybe that you're getting. So you
Mm,
can't double dip and use that $5,000 for the dependent care credit as well. But it's a nice it's a nice thing that your employer might offer, and you may not know about it, especially if you're, having your first child. You may want to ask about that. So,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Definitely something to look at during the open enrollment period.
for
That's
sure.
typically when you need to sign up for those. So,
What else do we have for you? Let's see. So we touched a little bit on this, but so we both live in big cities where daycare itself is incredibly expensive. So once your kids are in school and maybe, they go to a public school where they get a lot of good stuff for free. I know there's still lots of school costs and whatnot, but it's not nearly as high as the cost of daycare. So, do you just like have all this extra money? What do you do?
yeah, yeah, right.
I don't have kids, so I gotta ask.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for us personally, our school offers after school care. So that's an extra expense where they stay at school after the school day is over. And then there's summer camp, right? So
Yep.
the cost of summer camp is a lot. It's like back in daycare again. So I think if you're on top of the summer camp thing, typically if you sign up well in advance, a lot of places will offer discounts. Say if you sign up before by the end of the year, before
Mhm.
the prior summer, or by January, or they'll offer sibling discounts. So I think people, once your kids are older, if you get on top of that, so kind of summer camp scene, that can pay off for you
Yeah,
to plan in advance. So.
that's so hard. It's like you have to have your summer planned like more than 6 months ahead of time.
Yes, yes. I think that's one of the hardest part of being a parent is that you can't be spontaneous in the same way that you used to be. You have to plan these types of things out in advance. Um, I don't know. After a while, you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
You're adulting.
Yeah, my mom was a teacher, so she had summers off with us. So I've never even thought about that. That you have to, if both parents are working, or if you're a single parent and you have to work, there's a
Yeah, yeah,
whole several weeks, 3 months of childcare you got to figure out.
yeah, yeah. Fun stuff.
Dang.
So I think that's good. I think that was a good deep dive into childcare expenses and different costs, and tax credits to consider when you're trying to figure out what the true cost of these things are. So, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, check out that calculator or reach out to us with any questions. Our email is info@connectingthedollars.com. We are on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook at Propel Financial Advisors. And what else? We're on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and give us a like if you enjoyed our content today. And we'll hopefully be back with some more thrilling advice. Well, I'm not going to say advice, thrilling content for you.
Yes, yes. Okay.
All right.
Bye, Emily.
Next time. Bye.